Okay.
Recording in progress.
Okay, are we coming up on the screen? Okay. All right, there we are. Okay, welcome back. Our next item is 6.9, 1:30 p.m. Administer the ceremonial oath of office to Public Health Officer, Dr. Noemi C. Duhan, MP, PhD, and PH, CIO Parker.
Good afternoon, Dr. Duhan. It's my great pleasure to give you your oath. Raise your right hand, please. Am I talking? Okay. I state your name.
I, Noemi C. Duhan,
This mic on, Sam?
Yes.
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and to the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties
of health officer in and for the County of Lake,
of health officer in and for the County of Lake,
upon which I am about to enter.
about which I am about to enter.
Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
How we doing in the photo?
Does
Everybody
everybody
going
want to be
down?
in the photo? Yeah, come on.
So we're coming down there?
Betty, come down.
I'll give this back. Do you need it again? Thank you.
Ah, much better. Okay, he's happy now. Okay. And one more. Great, thank you.
Thank you. Don't sit down yet. Here's our microphone.
There's no prizes?
Dr. Duhan, please go to admin office and sign your.
Well, not yet.
Something to say?
Yeah.
Sorry.
No. We have a right to work. We're so excited to have you, Dr. Duhan. It has been a long time since we've had a permanent PHO, and we're excited to have you. You have all this experience in rural counties like ours and our neighboring county and with the Rancho. So we're looking forward to some fresh, bright new times. So I don't know if you have anything that you'd like to say to people in the room or to the public, but you can grab that microphone and go for it.
Thank you. I'm really honored to take this position. My vision is that there will never be an absence in this role moving forward, that from now on, you'll always have a health officer, that I will be in this role, and then after me, you will have a long succession of health officers to serve Lake County. This is such a beautiful and great county. There's a lot of hard work to do, but there's a great team here at the county and in the community to do it. So I'm really eager to. I started on September 1st, so
Yeah.
eager to keep working for you. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. Any other comments from the board?
Welcome to the team. Thank you.
Thank you.
Supervisor Green?
Yeah, I just want to, in one sense, it's routine when we do the oath of office, but when I hear the words, and I heard you speak them today, I know you take them to heart, and I know 99.99% of us do. All the more reason it was beautiful to me to hear those words, knowing that there is a full commitment to that. And although that is not universally held by everyone who takes an oath similar to that, it's all the more notable that you took those words freely and willfully, and that you're going to serve the people here, as we all swore oaths to do. So that stood out to me. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I just want to say welcome, and we're here to support you helping move forward to make our community a better place. So thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard.
Yeah. Anyone in the public, either in the chambers or in the Zoom room? And Matthew, I don't have the Zoom up right now. If there's any hands up, would you let me know, please? No? Okay, good.
There are no hands in the Zoom room.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Duhan. Okay, we have just a few items to get through before we end our open session. We have 7.7. Are we ready for this now? I'm sorry, not 7.7. 5.14. Okay, 5.14, approve amendment number 3 to the agreement between the County of Lake County Behavioral Health Services as lead administrative entity for the Lake County Continuum of Care and Sunrise Special Services Foundation with no change to the contract maximum for fiscal years 2022 to 2023, 2023 to 2024, and authorize the board chair to sign. And we've got Director Jones here. I can't remember who
I
pulled
did.
this. Oh, you did. Okay. I'll turn it over
I just
first.
pulled it to vote on it outside of the consent agenda, basically,
Okay.
unless you want to elaborate more, but I know what it's about. I think we all do, but I just wanted to make sure that, yeah, well, we did a separate vote, rather.
A separate vote? Okay. Did you want to speak to the item?
Yeah, so just to clarify, this is not a change to that contract maximum. We worked with Sunrise to make sure that what they were billing and doing actually matched the budget, as that's been an issue, and so this is corrective in terms of those issues. And I can announce, because it is germane to the topic of sheltering, this contract is for sheltering services, that the Lake County Continuum of Care voted, and their executive committee voted to award a new contract for these sheltering services to Redwood Community Services. And so Redwood Community Services will be working closely with behavioral health and Sunrise to transition over the provision of those sheltering services. So this contract amendment should see us through till that transition takes effect.
Do we have a timeline for that?
We're developing it. I know that we've requested to meet this week with Redwood and also Redwood and Sunrise together to talk about that with them and how fast, we can really scale it, how they can scale up and take over that. So I hope to provide an update maybe even as soon as next week, although Supervisor Spatier may actually know more than me.
Supervisor Spatier.
I definitely would not say I know more than you, but I do know that the contract ends on October 24th, and so we're just looking to see what RCS's timeline is. There may need to be a small extension just to make sure that we can meet their needs so that they can get started with their feet running.
Okay. Any other comments from the board? Supervisor Green?
Just to clarify, the grant award recommendation was made Monday,
That's correct.
and there's still an appeal period to run.
That is correct.
Thank you. I'm very supportive of this amendment. It does not change anything to the dollar amount, and it does bring us into better compliance as far as informing the public what's happening with the current contract. So I'm very supportive of this.
Supervisor Sabatier.
Yeah, just to go into some of the details, and I don't have it right in front of me, so I'll just go off the top of the head, but I know that we saw a reduction in the amount used per month for food, and that's because of the extra relationship with Redwood Empire Food Bank, which helps to decrease the costs. There is in my opinion, a slight increase in the overhead administrative costs. But at this moment, and I just want to make that public and so that everyone's aware, at this point, that doesn't reduce the service of the amount of beds that are available and the people that can be served. And because of the fact that we're in that soon-to-be transition state into what hopefully will be RCS, we will see what happens. It still needs to go through a couple hurdles. That I'm perfectly fine with moving forward, knowing that there's a change in the future.
Supervisor Crandall.
With that in mind, the HMIS staff, is there a reason why it went from like 500 to 3,360? I mean, I know it's their budget, but for the last 2 or 3, it's been consistent with 5, 8, and now it's at 3,300, so.
I will let Director Jones respond, though I could.
I believe it was just simply inaccurate, and so they had to correct that to actually reflect what they were spending in terms of staffing. So yes.
I don't remember Jordan's last name, but Jordan is the woman that works in that position, and the amount of work that's required is definitely a full-time job, so that number did not surprise me. It is different than before, but I think it's definitely more accurate. What I appreciate is our last contract amendment. We said anything that is 10% different within each line item of the budget needs to be brought to the Board of Supervisors for approval, and this is why we have what we have in front of us, since those changes are being made.
Okay, do we have anything from the public? Yeah, come on up.
Hi.
You can come up to the microphone, state your name, and you'll have 3 minutes.
Hi, my name is Nancy, and I'm from San Diego, California, a few months back. I'm actually probably one of your newest members of your community. And I'm here to talk about the shelter, because I came up here with high hopes of retiring up here with my best friend, who did me so dirty, I'm not going to even go into it. I ended up being penniless after coming up here with enough money, buying a van and coming up here with enough money to survive. Basically, when my money was gone, I was gone. She threw me out. I didn't know where I was, and the only reason why I found Lake County is because I went to Health and Human Services and the Housing Commission and several other places looking for any kind of help. I was out of gas in Social Security's parking lot, not knowing what I was going to do, but I thought for sure they would help me because I have guaranteed income from them, survivor benefits. But I was very surprised when I got there, and he said, I feel so bad about what happened to you, but we are not a bank, and we can't do anything to help you. I still had a whole month to go before I got another check. I was on E, and I had myself and the dog in the car, and was told I was going to be towed in the morning with everything I owned in it. So get whatever I could carry and the dog and get out of the van. And then the man at Social Security made a phone call, and a girl called me back. Within the hour, she called me back in 35 minutes. She was there within 45 minutes, put $15 of her own money in my gas tank, told me to follow her, and took me to that shelter, where, I'm sorry, I'm emotional, but where I have been very safe ever since, and my dog is comfortable as well. It's 110 degrees outside. And I don't know what politics you have going on with the shelter or anything else. All I can tell you is that that girl has heart, and she came and she rescued me. So I wanted to come today to tell you what the shelter meant to me. And really, I'm sure to a lot of other people that are new to your county, I wanted to come up here and retire because it's so beautiful. And I had nothing but a domino effect of bad things happen. And I'm still hopeful and I'm still positive that I'm going to get some type of help or something from somewhere to help me find some place to retire up here comfortably. Maybe not happily, but content, you know, just me and my dog. And I wanted to say thank you for letting me talk. I probably didn't say half of what I wanted to say, but I thank you for listening to me. The shelter has definitely helped me. I would be on the street, probably dead, with my dog probably dead, on Hamburger Hill. You know, and I can't even believe I know that name right now. But that's where I was stuck, and nobody could help me, not Social Security, nobody. But the shelter came and helped me. And I've been a productive member of society all my life. I've never been homeless. I've made $120,000 a year. I've run Home Depots and Price Clubs, Costco's. I was the highest paid female in my field. Now here I am, homeless in Northern California, and the only people that were willing to help me was that shelter. So I don't know what they do right or what they do wrong, but they sure saved me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time. And Nicole was the one that came out and saved me.
Thank you so much. If you would like to come up to the microphone, you can have 3 minutes. Would you like to respond?
I just want to clarify that this, the shelter, it is our intention and plan to continue the sheltering service in perpetuity. And so what we're discussing isn't whether or not there will be a shelter, but who will run it.
That's fine, and that's politics, and you guys know more than I do. I just wanted to let you know what she did for
Okay.
me, or they did for me.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, you can have your 3 minutes now?
Yes, I'm also homeless, 6 months now. I just came up here to move into a home. Long story short, it turned out to be a slum situation, and I have been homeless ever since when I decided that toilets and other things were not being fixed and repaired. And when I said I do not want to pay anymore, I went to Walmart, come back, and all the locks were changed. So I've been illegally evicted 6 months now, and I am suing him for $500,000. Precedent to something that happened in Kansas, almost the same situation. But I'm here to talk about the shelter. It's definitely needed. There are too many people walking up and down the street that need a place. Unfortunately, what she's speaking of with Nicole has and is a user. And at the same time, she has been threatening and harassing the homeless in the past week or so. Maybe because of the pressure of whether or not they were going to get the contract again or not. I myself needed to go to surgery, trouble health, next day to Sutter. I come back 3 days, they said it was a 2-day. The next thing you know, my room is gone. I've had for 6 months. It's in retaliation because as a volunteer staff member, I decided I could not do that anymore, especially when they took the power away. You were speaking of administrative costs going up. Well, I don't know how that can go up when there's only less than 3 people now running the place, and they're not there half the time. They just take off for 2 hours or so, and nobody's running the place. From what I understand, just the other night, I have not been back there, but the kitchens are wide open now. People can go in. You've got men and so forth who go in and grab knives. You have the women who are scared. I've had women coming to me just the other day over at the Native Mines, crying on my shoulder about this, scared about this, they're scared about that. She has been harassing those at the homeless shelter. So I'm very glad to hear that RCS is going to be taking over because they need businessmen and businesswomen running this place, not users, not ex-users. It needs to be run like a business. I've managed major department stores in Los Angeles for many years with 20 and 30 employees. I've never seen anything run like this year. She has gone, and Taylor and Jerry have gone and they favor those who are using the drugs. They favor those who, if there's someone using drugs, doing meth in the place, or doing smoking weed, it's okay. And it's not okay. You've got people who are trying to get off the stuff. You have people who are looking to, who don't use drugs, and legitimately homeless. They need a safe haven, and that place is no longer a safe haven. Not at all, for anyone. I won't even go back there because I was a smoker for 40 years. I'm allergic now to cigarettes and cigars. I guess it's like...
Yeah, that's your time.
And
Okay.
so, make a long story
Thank
short,
you.
they put me onto
Okay.
a room full of them.
Thank you, your time is up. Thank you
Okay.
so much. Okay, do we have anyone else? Okay, we'll close public, we don't have anyone in Zoom, do we, Wendy? Okay, we'll close public comment and bring it back to the board for action.
I'd like to thank all the speakers here today and acknowledge concerns. What a wonderful first start this is to interim sheltering and all the difficulties that go with that, budgetary, political, staffing, all that. We got some good news today about where we're headed, but the even better news today is that we have, through support from the community and through our continuum of care, established proof of concept for the first go-round of this shelter, and now we're moving ahead to get towards Shelter 2.0 or whatever we want to call it. In the meantime, I move to approve Amendment Number 3 to the agreement between the County of Lake County Behavioral Health Services as the lead administrative entity for the Lake County Continuum of Care and Sunrise Special Services Foundation with no change to the contract maximum for fiscal years 2022-23, 2023-24, and authorize the board chair to sign.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Just as a request and question, I know last time we had some public comment. I reached out to you to see if there was anything that needed to be done within the facility. I'm going to ask, and with consensus from the board, if we can take a look at that again, just to make sure with the new comments that we've received. I don't like hearing comments without necessarily taking a look and making sure that those comments are either correct or incorrect. So if the rest of the board is okay with that request, that would be my request.
Yes. Consensus?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. So I think we just have,
Can I follow up that request with another request? So operationally, absolutely, we need to take a look at that. One thing I've struggled with this current contract, and we're going to be scoping the new contract for the next provider, is where the county's responsibility ends as the building operator and owner. There's some things that fall in the middle of that, like HVAC filters and stuff like that, that are kind of high-ticket items, but not necessarily on the to-do list for what the vendor's going to be, or not maybe high on the list for what the county wants to do. And that's maybe a consensus item in scoping the next contract, but if there were any faults in this contract, it was like the barest to bare bones, the staffing and stuff like that. But I don't know for a fact that we successfully navigated what was going to be on the county's hook. And of course, the county doesn't want to put a lot of money into an old derelict building, but we don't want to have an old derelict building with no maintenance attached to it. So what level of contract involvement, where they take some share of the maintenance, but what share the county is going to do in support of this operation. So I don't know if I phrased that adequately,
sounds
but
like that's going to be.
I can respond to that in the sense that that was added to the contract, as that was missing at one point, and that can always be adjusted or reviewed at the next iteration of the contract for sure. Because I know that Director Ewing was involved in making sure that the language was appropriately added into the contract.
thank you.
And just real quick, Director Jones, I really appreciate you and Stephen Carter for the work you've brought this forward on. I think there's a lot more clarity and a lot more moving forward. So I really just wanted to say thank you for that. And Stephen as well, I know you're listening.
Sitting in there.
Thanks.
Okay. Our last public item is calendars. Did I miss anything? Okay.
I don't know, there's too much.
Who would like to go first?
I got mine up, so I'll go ahead and start.
Okay.
Okay, board meeting today. Tomorrow, I got a meeting, two meetings, so I'm going to be meeting with a couple of, one business and one other elected official. Thursday, Blue Ribbon Committee, South Deal. I may need to juggle those some way, shape, or form.
I'm going to go to South Deal Committee, so if you go to the Blue Ribbon, I'll go.
Because, yeah, I think Blue Ribbon's in Ukiah, right, this time, or is it? Oh, it's here. Oh, that's Lakeport, that's right, yeah. So
Let me, if there's something you need with South Deal, just let me know.
there is, I'll get them to you today.
Okay.
And so there's that. Friday, we have the CDPH meeting, right? And then Monday, CAO meeting, Russian River Water Forum, my FRRCC, which is the Farm Ranch Rural Committee for EPA. And then I have a meeting with PG&E to discuss the new Long Valley and old Long Valley work, and then back here Tuesday.
Go for it.
All right. Tomorrow, starting the day off in Lakeport with the LTA APC meeting. Why does this say Clear Lake Senior Center at the bottom? I guess I'm at this, I'll figure out where I'm supposed to be tomorrow. Do you know where the meeting's at?
The Senior Center.
Is it the Senior Center?
That's what I saw. The
Okay,
Senior
for some reason I have both Lakeport and Senior Center on there, so, oh, that's because City Hall is under renovations.
construction, yeah.
That's right. Then I will see if I can pass by the Children's Council. It's been a while since I've dropped by. Later on, I have some constituents that Chair Pyska so kindly requested I meet with, that I will be meeting with. They are business entrepreneurs from out of the Bay Area who would like to learn more about Lake County, and so I'll be meeting with them. Just want to make sure
Are you going to their house?
I followed up.
They invited me to their house.
No, I know why, I know why you sent it this way. And I'll start my Thursday off at Judge's Breakfast. Then I will be joining Hope Rising for the CHIP meeting as we continue with our Community Health Improvement Plan. And then there's an issue that's been kind of bubbling, hasn't really hit any negativity yet, but it's making people nervous, and that's our redemption recycling centers unavailable in certain areas. If you don't have a redemption center within, I think it's supposed to be half a mile, I think, of a grocery store, that a grocery store is supposed to offer their own redemption at the grocery store, and our grocery stores are just not equipped to handle that kind of refund and collecting of recycling material. So working with our local hauler, our waste hauler, and our local landfill director, Lars Ewing, as well as the city of Clear Lake, to figure out where we might put a mobile recycling redemption center. We are jumping on a pilot program that is happening at Fort Bragg. Those same conversations eventually will leak over to Lakeport for the fact that they are next on the list for the state of California to start going after the grocery stores for not having their own redemption center. There is a fine of $100 a day to grocery stores who do not do this. So we're trying to resolve this before the fines start happening. Clear Lake was first on the list. Lakeport will be next, unfortunately. And currently, correct me if I'm wrong, I know Robinson Rancheria still runs a redemption center. Did I hear correct that Twin Pines also running one?
It's Twin Pine, no S.
Did I say S?
I'm gonna
I thought I
correct
held
that
back
every
on that.
time.
Every time.
Please, every
Just
time.
keep calling me Clear Lakes.
Yeah, so, we'll just call you Highlands. We've had initial conversations with Lars, and yeah, we're working on something.
Okay, so I heard something through the grapevine, and that was correct, okay. But something that we need to figure out, and so happy to be part of the conversation. Based on the direction of the Board of Supervisors, Supervisor Crandall and myself will be meeting with CDPH in regard to the syringe exchange program decision that was made, and then later on Friday, it
Is
will...
Dr. Duhan going to be with you?
I believe I sent out an invitation to everybody. I'll have to figure out if I emailed before she got an email address or after. So thank you for that question. On the next one, yes, Dr. Duhan is invited to our ambulance ordinance review. A bunch of folks from the EMCC are getting together and taking a look to see what changes are necessary. There are certain upcoming changes that may be coming down the pike, and those changes are not within the realm of possibility in the current state of our ambulance ordinance. On Monday, meeting with Meadow Lake Farm Food Hub, the Meadow Lake Farm Food Hub, and our CAO, and getting prepared for our meeting on Tuesday the 19th.
Who's ready down here?
Finished the meeting today, got LTA tomorrow. Agenda review, I heard that being talked about, maybe something later on today or something?
Yeah.
Okay, so, and then after the LTA APC meeting, we have the executive board meeting. I'm on the executive board. We'll have a meeting following that tomorrow. Thursday, the South Deal meeting. EJ, please let me know. You do Blue Ribbon, I'll do the South Deal committee meeting. If there's anything needs to jump on there, please let me know that in your area. I know you got some projects over there by Blue Lakes that you've been talking about for...
Blue Lakes in now Spring Valley.
Oh, okay.
Wait, that's not Caltrans, sorry.
Okay, all right, yeah. And then math, Thursday evening. Friday morning, have the Workforce Alliance in North Bay meeting. Need to get that completed. Friday night, have, all of Lake County's got some football going on. Saturday, we have our Indian Days celebration we do every year at Twin Pine. And then Sunday, yeah. What's that?
No, sorry.
He sneezed.
Oh, okay. And then Sunday, starting out a project with the Middletown Arts Center, having a community meeting. We got a grant in coordination with Calliope, Middletown Arts Center, and Middletown Rancheria to paint the water not the water towers.
Rabbit Hill?
Yeah, Rabbit Hill, the 2 water tanks up there as water baskets, kind of as a land acknowledgement and a tribal acknowledgement. Really cool project that's been going on, so excited for that kickoff meeting to happen Sunday. And then Monday back here for the RRA meeting. Seems like our agenda's getting a little big, but, you know, we'll hopefully manage it
We should probably talk about that.
the best that we can. And, you know, continue that on. Then back here Tuesday, obviously, it looks like our agenda is really filling up, and we got a nice meeting on Tuesday, it looks like.
Every year, it seems, Robinson and Middletown have the same, Indian Days celebration, so it's back and forth for some of the dancers. But, yeah, Robinson's having theirs as well Saturday.
Supervisor Green?
Yeah, it looks like I will also take a stab at getting the Children's Council tomorrow. I also plan to attend Lakeport Planning Commission tomorrow evening. They're going to be taking another look at a parklet proposal for Main Street. Also plan on attending Blue Ribbon Committee just because they're coming to town, and it would be rude not to say hello and catch up on all things Blue Ribbon. I haven't scheduled anything yet, but I'm hoping to reach out to 1 or 2 fire personnel. I have been working to repopulate our emergency medical care committee. Hopefully, we're going to get some applications on the pipeline and get a quorum. My ears did perk up at news that we're going to be kicking the tires on the ambulance ordinance. That falls squarely within the realm of the committee's authority. So it's important to do both. We got to get the committee up and running, and if we are going to open those things up, there's different ways we can do it. So I'll speak with you offline about that, Supervisor Sabatier. It looks pretty light after that. Yeah, looks pretty good. Thank you.
Okay, I have quite a bit to report out on. The last couple of weeks and the rest of this month are a lot of travel. I did attend the Wildfire and Forest Resilience Task Force meeting in person on the 29th in Sacramento. It's just a really great opportunity to reconnect with our OES partners. JC Hyde, who was with OES and who brought us the Climate Resiliency Officer Grant and the Home Hardening Grant, is now the Executive Director of the State Fire Safe Council, which is awesome because she's continuing to help us get more and more grants in here, and it's really good to see her. She gave an excellent presentation. And then on the 31st, we hosted the CPUC. We had, they had their voting meeting here in our chambers for several hours the afternoon of the 31st, and then we had the opportunity to sit down with commissioners and talk about local issues. Then I went to the Blue Ribbon Committee for the fair kickoff. Fair was incredible. I want to give a huge shout out to all of our law enforcement partners. Commander Fansler requested enforcement from the cities, and also in collaboration with our sheriff and probation and the ABC, and there were even state park rangers out there. It was a bit of a wild time, but I'm really glad that we had as much coverage as we did, and all of those partners worked so hard. The kids, there's quite a few animals that did not make weight. If anyone is looking for an underweight fair animal, there are a lot of available. Many pigs didn't make weight. There's lots of extra turkeys. If anybody wants an animal, let me know. I could probably connect you. I've already got a turkey on the way and possibly a pig. Anyway, it was a great week of the fair. And I just love seeing those kids and how hard they work and the lessons that they learn with all of the program we have with 4-H and FFA. Oh, and I did a report on the Blackberry Cobbler Festival. Again, huge hit. Probably close to 3,000 people came to the Cobb area. So that has become a wonderful tradition for the area and really important to the local nonprofits and community groups that are now relying on that festival to bring in funding. And then I went to Sacramento on the 6th. Right, no, the 6th, I had a meeting with the governor's office at OPR about forest biomass utilization. Still trying to kind of elbow our way into the pilot programs that are operating around the state. There's, I think, 4 or 5, and we continue to be left out of those. So trying to hustle some funding to get our own biomass utilization plan going here. Then I went to Sacramento for the CPUC workshop. That was all day. And that was looking at looking at the enforcement, or looking at the POTS, plain old telephone lines and cell service and VoIP and broadband. And Matthew and I were invited to speak along with a tribal person and a representative from Inyo County. They wanted local government and tribal perspectives on what enforcement looks like for the new policies and if they should be changed. And that was a very long, contentious day with conversations with the carriers and their interpretation of what adequate coverage looks like. And so I just really want to say that Matthew is incredible. He is really stepping up into his new role as legislative affairs liaison, and really lent so much to that conversation and tempered me. And the next day we met with PG&E, with RCRC and CSAC. And again, Matthew is on point, incredible, but really disappointing, as Supervisor Crandall can attest, because all 3 of us were there, is that we are having the same conversation that we have been having for over 2 years. And it's mind-boggling that we're still doing this, and we're stuck in this loop with PG&E, but we're just going to keep being relentless with what it is we need. And they're hearing us. And it sounds like we're going to have some local tours.
That's right. Yeah, and I forgot to mention that in mine because I just went straight into next week. But yeah, we have been saying that the same things to them for the past months. And so I was like, I just threw out some options like, here, maybe you could do this. Maybe you can keep the data. Maybe you can hire someone and collect the data so we can tell the people that are complaining to us about this that this is where they're at, or this is where they're not at, and this is why, rather than waiting for them to update us.
Yeah, that was our big request, is show us the data. Show us, you've got your different programs, you've been to all these properties, but how do we even know which properties have been cleaned up? There's just a real lack of data for us to understand the strategy and hold them accountable. So again, same conversation, different day. Who knows? We're going to keep having those meetings, though. And tomorrow, agenda review, we're going to hit later today because I do have to be on the 4th floor. And then Thursday, I have the Fire Safe Council meeting. I have a follow-up meeting with OPR about the APGP grant and Climate Safe Lake. And then CWDG discussion for that next round of grant funding with our partners, Clerk and Terra and NCO and our fire departments. And then Friday, Workforce Alliance Governing Board meeting. I'm going to be here at Career Point.
I'm going to be doing it down my cinnamon.
You're going to Napa.
No, I'm going to zoom in.
You're going to do your Zoom there. Okay. Then the Soda Bay corridor evacuation route planning meeting, which we're having every other week right now, and our community meeting, which is going to be very exciting, is going to be on this 25th of September. So we're working towards that event. And our food bank meeting has been canceled, correct? Okay.
Working on it.
Yes. Okay, the Wine Alliance dinner is Saturday night. We are in full swing with festivals, the fall festival, and all the parties are happening right now. So I'll be at the Wine Alliance Saturday night, and then Monday is the Risk Reduction Authority after my weekly meeting with CAO Parker. And then also, I have to say, Sunday was the Dia de Independencia celebration in Kelseyville. I want to say it was the third or fourth event, and it is such a beautiful event, and it has just quickly becoming one of the most beloved events of the season. And the folkloric dances and the horses and the food, it was just an incredible celebration, and I hope you all can make it one day. And that is all my updates. So we are at the end of our open session meetings. We have 2 closed session items. 8.1, conference with legal counsel, significant exposure to litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9D2, and E1, 2 potential cases, and 8.2, public employee discipline, dismissal, release. So thank you for joining us today, and we are now going to move into closed session.